Hey there, and welcome to Workforce Pulse, the podcast for recruitment and staffing founders who are ready to scale, grow, and shake up the industry. I'm your host, Kirutika Munusamy, and I'm so glad that you're here. This is where we have real, no nonsense conversation about what it takes to build a thriving business in recruitment and staffing. Forget the fluff. We're all about strategies that actually work, shared by the people who've been there and done it. A quick shout out to our sponsor, Ambrosial Automations. At Ambrosial Automations, we are kind of your behind the scene partner for growth. We help recruitment and staffing businesses streamline their operations, bring in quality leads, boost sales, and scale, all without the risky upfront costs. We work on revenue share models, so we don't succeed unless you do. If you're curious about how it works, head over to ambrosialautomations.com for a free 12-month growth plan that is tailored just for you. All right, let's dive in. Today on Workforce Pulse, we are thrilled to welcome Elizabeth Hull, the founder and CEO of Professional Management and Consulting, a firm she established in 2021 after over a decade in staffing and human resource industries. PMC specializes in executive recruitment and consulting services with a mission to create a lasting workforce by emphasizing work life balance to enhance employee experience, generate revenue, and motivate performance. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Yes, thank you for
Yes.
having me.
Yes, the pleasure is all ours. So, Elizabeth, tell us more about yourself, your background, and the role within PMC.
So a little bit about myself. I have been in the industry for quite some time, and after all, I had four little ones. So I wanted to, find a way to be at home with my children, start a business, but also provide that same availability for other moms and other parents around me. So I really wanted to start that in 2021, and we've been going since. So.
Great, great. So, Elizabeth, what big trends are you seeing in the industry right now?
So I would say overall, a lot of AI and automation.
Hmm.
In about 2024, end of 2023, a lot of larger companies rolled out that automation, and automation is great when it comes to data. I feel like, but when it comes to receiving clients or receiving candidates, it's a little bit harder to have that relationship and communication with them. So, that AI automation just kind of filters in a bunch of candidates. And then we also see a lot of remote and hybrid work. I've seen a lot of positions scale back from just remote to hybrid. So it gets those employees back in the office and having those relationship with their coworkers, but also having relationship with clients. And a lot of remote work sometimes constricts you to having that face to face or getting out there. So we've seen a lot of remote work roll out as well lately.
Okay, got it. So, at PMC, what sector do you focus on? What sector of recruitment do you focus on?
Right now, we're focusing on the veterinarian field and construction. We do specialize in all industries, but right now our workload heavy is in construction and veterinarians.
Okay, okay. So, are there any big challenges you are seeing in recruitment in healthcare or construction?
Absolutely. With healthcare, especially, it comes in waves where the candidates are available. It could be, when they're graduating, there could be a flood of candidates. And then, depending on corporate companies and other companies that are getting in there to get those candidates, you could be out of candidates by the end of August because all of those new grads, were placed. But so it's definitely being able to get in there and get some candidates is important.
Got it. Okay. And are there any challenges with construction?
Yes, there definitely is. With construction, it takes consistency, and there's a lot of turnover depending on the rate, depending on the roles. If it's a
Hmm.
lower level or a higher level. So same thing. A lot of new grads will come out of construction management thinking that they're qualified for a position, and it's really hard to separate their soft skills and their skills that they've learned in the field, because a lot of construction companies do want those hands-on skills for
Right.
construction management, but they haven't been given the opportunity to be interns yet, or haven't been given the opportunity to be in the field. So that's definitely a struggle that we're trying to overcome.
Okay. Okay. And other than construction, are there any other subsectors, let's say mining or the dirt work trades, you're focusing on?
Definitely. So, well, just going back to veterinarians, there's uh, a big shortage when it comes to little towns, little states that don't have a lot of people who have one or two clinics, and it's a really tough role to fill when
Hmm.
we're trying to have people relocate or trying to have people, you really have to have people move into small towns to fill a position. So it takes a lot of consistency and a lot of hard work to try to get that. But that's definitely a challenge that we have, is those smaller towns where there's not a lot of candidates and we're having to relocate them to service our client. With a lot of positions that we have, you can't necessarily offer remote work, right? We need people
Yeah.
in the field. We need doctors in on clients with patients. We need construction superintendents out there in the field. We need estimators out there estimating jobs. So it's tough when a lot of people want to work remote and want to be at home, but we need people in the
Yeah.
field. So that's definitely something that we're getting through as a company.
Yeah, I guess with healthcare and construction, you really can't do work from home.
Yes.
It's on field job, so
Right. Yeah, and there's well, I don't know when it was, but telemed rolled out, and a lot of vets were like, "Can we do telemed?" I'm like, "Well, you can do a consultation, but we need you, hands on a patient with
that's right.
surgical equipment." So it gets a little, hard to scale back that.
Got it. Okay. So, are there any big initiatives PMC is working on at the moment?
Definitely. We want to take advantage of the global talent acquisition. I feel like there's a lot of global talent that we can tap into. And here in the
Hmm.
States, a lot of clients feel like they're restricted to only US candidates. So we really want to take that initiative and understand the process on bringing candidates from those other countries, and getting their visa paperwork and bringing them into a stable lifestyle here in the States. Everybody wants something consistent. So when companies are looking for candidates to stay 3 to 5 years, and there's candidates across the country that are willing to come work hard for 5 to 7 years, it's a great investment, right, for our
That's right.
company. So we definitely want to, as PMC moves towards that global area, we want to take that initiative to understand the process and take over that management for companies, because it's stressful when it comes to visas and paperwork and immigration lawyers. But we've brought over a couple of candidates from over the countries, so we're able to really understand and have that benefit to offer that service to others. So I would say that was a,
Got it.
a big
So,
one. And then improving candidate experience. We With PMC, we really want to take that initiative to take that extra step to be close to our candidates. I feel like a lot of candidates come through, get filtered through, and then just kind of get kind of left in the dust. And there's not a lot of candidate closure in a sense.
mhm.
Um, and that's very important because whether the hiring manager isn't ready to hire yet, or there's a hold with budget, it still needs to be communicated across the board. And sometimes there's really great candidates waiting for a job that just isn't ready to be opened yet. So we really
Yeah.
want to take the initiative and be advocates for candidates as well, because there's so many candidates who just apply and get their hopes up. So we're just trying to, be on their side as well and be a little bit, of an advocate for candidates when it comes to applying and
Yeah, that's just great. Coming from a recruiter, that you're rooting for the candidates, that's great. That's a
yes.
great mission to have. Okay. See, as you mentioned that you're doing international recruiting, right? So can you elaborate a little bit on the international recruiting side so the audience or the general candidates who are listening to it can benefit from it?
Absolutely. So what I tell my candidates who are coming over from a different country is there's a process that has to be that is there. It's already in place, and it needs to be followed when it comes to paperwork and living situations. And what I tell candidates is don't be afraid to apply for in-state positions, because it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's so simple of going to a border, having an offer letter, getting your visa signed, and being able to start a whole new life here. So when it comes to whether you're in Canada or India or you know the UK, as long as you follow the process to start your work visa or your permanent visa over here, we are more than happy to assist through the process and find, and we have companies that are willing to sponsor, candidates that are coming over. So what I recommend is ensuring that the specifics are done when it comes to credentials. If you're a doctor, if you have done many years of schooling and you have your credentials, those are worth it. So bring them over, because it just
Yeah.
may be a test that you can take. Same thing with construction management, and architecture. If you have your documents in place and you're ready to come to the States, then we're ready to help you and get you over here. Absolutely.
That's great. Okay. So, are there any big opportunities that lie ahead for PMC this year?
Absolutely. So I within PMC, I would say that there's a lot of gig opportunities
Mm-hmm.
with recruiting. And I mean, recruiting's a niche background. I feel like it's kind of it's kind of sales, but it's kind of not. So with it being a gig opportunity, I definitely see recruiters being able to work as 1099 and have a little bit of a freer lifestyle in a sense when it comes to their work life balance,
Mm-hmm.
and they're able to have a little bit more flexibility. So I definitely see that coming because back to that remote and hybrid work, recruiters can definitely be hybrid. They can definitely, be making those phone calls at all hours of the time, depending on their schedule. They can be out there in the field and having those communications and the connections with real people. And it doesn't take 8 hours in the office to make a connection with a candidate. So I feel like it's definitely, that's an opportunity that is really good for moms, for families, for, some people who want to just have a different work life balance, in a sense. And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So as a recruiter, yes, you don't have to be completely remote or completely in office. You can
Hmm.
have that leeway where you can just be with your family, take some, let's say, work from home and enjoy the time as well as work. So that's a
Right.
great
Absolutely.
flexibility. That's
Yes.
right. So tell us about the priorities and goals that you have for yourself or for PMC for 2025.
So for 2025, we really want to just going back to expanding globally. We really want to reach out to those other countries, and make contact and gain relationship with candidates and clients that we can bring over. And it goes both ways, right? We want to bring candidates over, but we also want to be able to send candidates over. If there's some opportunities out there, and people in the States, might want to move out of the country, and same thing,
Yeah.
it goes both ways. So we definitely want to be able to tap into that because a lot of there's not a lot of smaller recruiting firms that do global. It's mainly those larger Fortune 500 companies that can do it. So we definitely want to be able to be one of those firms that can do that, that offer that,
Yeah.
have a good reputation for it. We have been able to do it, so I know that we're able to do it again. So
Okay.
that's one of our main focuses. And then taking more of a consultative approach on hiring. I with a lot of recruiting with PMC, we work on direct hire, so we don't necessarily do the bill rate and all of that crazy consistent stuff right now. So with us, we really want to take a more consultative approach and go into clients and see what their needs are truly. If they come to us and say, "Oh, I just need one person," but we take a different approach and really look at everything, and they may need 2 to 3 people, and that 2 to 3 people it's going to drive their revenue and make their business better, then that's what they should do. And that's what we want to do, is we want to not just have them tell us like, hey, we need one person in 6 months, or we need one person by the end of the month. We want to really analyze their hiring situation, analyze their employees, their turnover rate, what they're paying their employees. Is it on the job market? Can we match it? And then go from there and find what candidates they need. Because sometimes it's a very quick process with the requisition. This is what we need. Go find it. But when in reality, they really need more. And they'll come back to you in a month and say, hey, we need one more person. And it's like, well, we could have opened this requisition for 3 people a month ago and have had everybody in interviews. But so that's where we want to take that responsibility and really go to owners and clients and say, hey, yes, you need one person, but you may need another person in 2 weeks. So let's get started on that as well. So that's where we want to take that consultative.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, what is PMC's vision for the next 2 to 3 years?
So PMC, we definitely want to bring in 1099 recruiters. We want to bring in a big team of recruiters who are willing to work hard and provide good candidates and have a flexible lifestyle. I think when companies provide flexibility and trust and respect, employees work hard, and they have grit and consistency. And so that's really what we're looking for the next couple of years. Is we really want to expand our recruitment team of our recruiters, and we want to expand globally. And we want to eventually expand, into a little bit more industries. When it comes to construction, there's so many different sectors. Whether civil construction or there's just home development, concrete. So there's so many different sectors and industries that we want to get to. So right now we're gonna just narrow down and then truly hope to expand to a bigger team.
Got it. Got it. That's interesting. And so that's a wrap for today's episode of Workforce Pulse. Huge thanks to our guest Elizabeth for sharing her incredible insights on all these topics. Now, before we go, Elizabeth, where can people find you if they want to connect or learn more about your work?
Yeah, so they can find me on LinkedIn. I am available on LinkedIn under my name, Elizabeth Hull. We also have the website that you can also find us on as well. And then, yeah.
Great, perfect. So make sure you follow Elizabeth on LinkedIn and check out PMC's website. To our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And one more time, if you're stuck in the grind of manual processes or struggling to grow, we can help you optimize operations, bring in leads that convert, boost sales, and scale without the upfront risk. Head over to ambrosialautomations.com to get your free custom 12-month growth plan. All right, that's it for today. Thanks again, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Let's build, grow, and keep the workforce pulse alive. See you next time.